Today we're going to talk about silica. What is it? Why is it important? Silica can go by a couple different names. So silica, the chemical name silicon dioxide, or there's other types of it. You can also get silica through like a salicylic acid process. So silica basically helps your plants uptake nutrients more efficiently and then trace minerals, but it also aids in the photosynthesis process. It helps to make photosynthesis a little bit more efficient. It helps to strengthen cell walls. It helps to boost the immune system of the plant, the improvement and mobilization of essential macronutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So if you're not currently using a silica or silicon dioxide product in your garden, don't worry, because GreenGro puts silicon dioxide in almost all of our products. So silicon dioxide comes in two forms, an amorphous and a crystalline. Amorphous can be ground up into a powder that can be better suited in the soil. Most silica and silicon dioxides are the crystalline variety, kind of similar to how glass is made. Glass is made out of silica, so silica is very abundant in the planet, but its ability to be easily absorbed is not. If you can find an amorphous silica, and that's what GreenGro uses. We use an amorphous variety so that it goes well into teas and also goes well into the soil, and your plant can utilize it more efficiently. Crystalline and amorphous. One other thing that we didn't talk about silica and silicon dioxide, it is crucial if you're growing with salts, because silica helps to manage plants in a high salinity environment, right? So high salinity is high salt. If you're growing with something like Athena, it's pure salt. So a lot of people recommend having like a salicylic acid or a silica to help, because the plants thrive better when silica is introduced into a high salt or a high salinity environment. If you're out there and you're growing with, salt-based fertilizer, then I think that that's important for you to know.
Is there a recommended cutoff time for green aminos in flower, or green aminos all through flower?
I mean, green aminos is so unique and so gentle and so robust for the immune system of the plant. Like, I don't mind using green aminos up until week 6. I cut off green aminos the last 2 or 3 weeks of flower. I mean, some people don't like that because they say, if you have too much nitrogen in the flowering cycle that, you're gonna get foxtails and all that kind of stuff. But green aminos is so low on nitrogen. It's like a less than 2 on the nitrogen scale. Depending on your genetics, I think week 6 is fine. If you're worried about foxtailing and other types of stretching and stuff, week 4. But I'm gonna be honest, I use green aminos almost all the way through because I just know in and out. So a teaspoon per gallon, I don't think you're gonna really see any type of issues.
Okay, next question. Does the Pride Land soil need different watering practices than compost soils?
Yeah, compost holds a lot more water. There's less drainage in soils that have compost and wood bark. And again, most soils out there in the market, guys, are made out of 4 things primarily: peat, perlite, compost, and wood mulch. Okay? The wood mulch and the compost hold water and they hold nitrogen. Yeah, you're gonna see faster drainage in the GreenGro Pride Land soil. It's not gonna be as fast as a cocoa-based soil, but there is cocoa in it, so you're gonna see some pretty good drainage rates. So you might have to water more frequently.
What do you recommend for reamending full-term pots and beds?
If you know how much soil you've got per cubic yard, you want to do 10 pounds of veg and 5 pounds of earthshine mixed thoroughly. Water it once at least, and then you can plant into it after that. If you're trying to reamend a certain number of gallons of soil, per 225 gallons, something like that is about a yard. Per 225 gallons, you want to do 10 pounds of veg and 5 pounds of earthshine. If you have long beds and you're trying to figure it out, this is how you figure out. You take your width by your length and your depth, okay? If you have 12 inches deep by 4 feet wide by 10 feet, okay, you're gonna need probably about 4 yards that's are gonna go into there, maybe 2.5 depending on my math quickly. I think the question about earthshine was, can earthshine go in at the same time you plant, or do you need to wake it up? I always say that you should add earthshine well before you plant, just because there's tons and tons of fermented microbes in there that could get to work and do a lot more stuff. But you can plant with earthshine If you did earthshine the day before, you could plant the next day if you wanted to. But I would say if you're reusing beds or reusing soil, if you added earthshine a few weeks before you planted, that would give it time to start digesting all that dead organic matter in your soil, old roots, old stalks. Think about earthshine as like a really good, super fast composting agent that can go into your soil and start composting dead organic matter. Most of all GreenGro products have a silicon dioxide in it. Green aminos, Pryland's Veg and Bloom, Flower Finisher, Hybrid Veg, Earthshine, Defense has silicon too. I'm also a big believer in alkalinity and alkaline life and alkaline living, right? So our fertilizers are all alkaline based. You can create an alkaline soil and alkaline water to feed your plants.
Where does the silicon dioxide come from in your products?
It's a mined material, and we work with a mine that we're close with the owners, and we really like the material, and it's amorphous, it's not crystalline. It's one of the highest contents of silicon dioxide in rock-based amendment. Where does RO water fit in the program? Reverse osmosis. Yeah, I mean, that fits in the program anywhere you want it to. It's water purification. RO is great. It's going to clear out most of the things that we're worried about. The only thing I would say about that is just making sure that we get the RO water back up to the right pH. I mean, our products can help produce that higher pH when you mix it into the water. But using RO water at like 5.8 to 6.1 is really that effective. I think higher pH water is better in general for at least the GreenGro line. And RO water is great in general, I mean, depending on what kind of filtration system you have. If you're worried about RO water because it's coming out, you know, at 0 ppm, and it's something that we can fix. I use carbon filters, I use screw-on filters. I usually don't go to the granular level of an RO filter because where I live and where my farm is, I don't need one. That's all we have for you today, guys. Thank you.